Hello everyone. Welcome back to Postcard Colorizeyou. If you are a returning listener, thank you for coming back. If you are new here, a warm welcome to you. This is a space where I share life lessons drawn directly from my own real-life experiences. Just a quick note, I release new episodes every Wednesday and Friday evening, so make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out. Before we begin, a gentle invitation to visit my home at colorize.you.com. I offer a curated collection of t-shirts, hoodies, and motivational wall art simple designs meant to bring strength and inspiration to your daily life. Now, find a comfortable spot. Let's begin today's story. In our last episode, we talked about how dangerous expectation can be. We called it the poison of happiness. But simply knowing it is dangerous isn't enough. It is like realizing there is a lion living in your room. Before, you didn't know it was a lion, so you walked right up to it and got bitten. Now, you know it bites, so you try to avoid it. But avoiding it isn't a solution. The lion is still there, prowling in the corner. What if you run into it accidentally? The only real solution is to tame the lion. We must master our expectations, lock them in a cage, so we can walk freely in our own home. After sharing that episode, I received many thoughtful questions from you. You asked, if I drop all my expectations, will I lose my motivation? Will I become lazy? Will I stop growing? This is a very valid fear. I struggled with this exact question myself for years. For a long time, I believed that high expectations were the fuel for my success. I thought, if I don't expect the best, I will settle for mediocrity. But there was a painful trade-off. Yes, high expectations pushed me forward, but they also robbed me of happiness. Every time I reached a milestone, I felt nothing because I was already looking at the next one. My success felt hollow because I was always chasing a moving target. I felt trapped in a dilemma. It seemed I had to choose. Either keep my ambition and be miserable, or drop my expectations and become a lazy failure. Is it really an either-or choice? Do we have to choose between success and happiness? After many failures and much reflection, I realized the answer is no. You can have both. You can be wildly ambitious and deeply peaceful. But to do that, you must understand the difference between two words that people often confuse. Those two words are expectation and standard. Here is how I define them. Expectation is setting a rule for things you cannot control. Standard is setting a rule for things you can control. Let that sink in for a moment. What can you actually control in this world? The harsh truth is, the only thing you can control is yourself. Your thoughts, your actions, your reactions. That's it. Everything else, the weather, the economy, the traffic, and especially other people, is beyond your control. Even a light switch is not under your full control. You might flick it expecting light, but the bulb might burn out or the power might go off. When you tie your happiness to something outside of yourself, that is an expectation, and it is a recipe for suffering. When you tie your goals to your own actions, that is a standard, and that is the path to power. Let me share a personal story to illustrate this. I have a standard for myself. I must arrive 5 to 10 minutes early for every meeting. Not later, because that is disrespectful. Not earlier, because that is inconvenient for them. To achieve this, I don't just try to be on time. I obsess over it. Before I leave, I check the route on Google Maps. If I see a red line indicating a traffic jam, I abandon my car and switch to public transport immediately. If I am going to a new building, I start worrying, what if I can't find parking? So I research nearby parking lots online. I check if they are full at that hour. I even calculate the minutes it takes to walk from the parking lot, find the elevator, and get to the meeting room. I invest so much anxiety and effort into this standard. So naturally, in the past, when someone else arrived late, I felt personally insulted. I would sit there, looking at the clock, thinking, I did all this work to respect you, and you couldn't even leave your house on time? My blood would boil. The expectation that they should be like me was poisoning my mood. So I realized I had to change. I decided to drop the expectation but keep the standard. I created the 30-minute rule. If you are late without notifying me, I give you exactly 30 minutes. Once that clock runs out, I stand up and leave. I have done this with junior staff. I have done this with my managers. I once even walked out on a headhunter from a company I desperately wanted to join. I remember sitting in that lobby. 10 minutes passed, then 20 minutes, then 30. No text, no call. I simply stood up, walked out, and went back to my life. I wasn't angry. I wasn't trying to teach them a lesson. I simply accepted that their lateness was out of my control, but my time was in my control. My standard had been breached, so I executed my action. The result? Most people who experience this never arrive late for a meeting with me again. They might be late for the rest of the world, but for me, they show up. Now, let's apply this to self-expectation. This is harder. How do you aim high without getting hurt? I remember applying for a high-level position at a top company. The headhunter told me bluntly, "This is tough. There are many candidates. They are locals. They were born here. They speak the language natively. They understand the culture in their bones." I was an immigrant. I felt the heavy weight of that disadvantage. So I set a standard. I would be the most prepared person in the room. I didn't just read their website. I analyzed their entire industry. I looked for threats they didn't see coming. I looked for opportunities they were missing. I spent days building a strategy for a job I didn't even have yet. After the interview, the CEO looked at me and said, "This didn't feel like an interview. It felt like a free strategic consulting session for my company." I did all that work, but here is the secret. I genuinely did not expect to get the job. I told myself, I cannot stop a local candidate from being better than me. I cannot control the CEO's preference. Because I expected nothing, I had no fear. I spoke with the freedom of someone who had nothing to lose, and often, that freedom is exactly what wins. This leads to my life philosophy. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Some people talk about the law of attraction, believing that if you visualize success, the universe will give it to you. I am more practical. I never allow myself to blindly believe in a positive outcome that I cannot control. I always prepare for the worst case scenario. If I don't get the job, what is my plan B? If the client rejects the proposal, what is my next move? If I miss the bus, is there a train? This doesn't make me a pessimist. It makes me bulletproof. When you have a plan for the worst outcome, you have no fear. And when you have no fear, you can play the game with a lightness and confidence that actually increases your chances of winning. To truly let go of expectation, you must eliminate one thing: regret. Whenever I face a big goal, I play a mental game. I travel to the future. I imagine I have already failed. Then, I look back at today and ask, is there anything causing me to say, if only? If I hear myself saying, if only I had researched that competitor, then I snap back to the present and I research that competitor immediately. If I hear myself saying, if only the CEO had been in that meeting, then I do everything in my power right now to make sure the CEO attends. I keep doing this until I silence every single if only. When the day comes, if I fail, I can look in the mirror and say with total honesty, I did everything humanly possible. There was nothing left to give. That feeling is better than success. It is peace. Finally, how do we survive the long, lonely road to a goal like financial freedom? It takes 10, maybe 17 years. If you only expect happiness at the finish line, you will quit. You must find happiness in the small wins. Don't wait for the $1 million. Celebrate when you pay off your debt after 6 months. That is a win. Celebrate when you save your first emergency fund. That is a win. Celebrate when you buy your very first stock on the market. Even if it only goes up by 2%, celebrate that 2%. These small joys are the fuel. They keep you walking when the road gets dark. So, set high standards for yourself. Act with intensity, but release your grip on the outcome. That brings us to the end of episode 5 of Postcard Colorizeyou. I would love to hear your thoughts on today's story. Also, if there is a specific topic or a struggle you would like me to cover in the next episode, please let me know in the comments below. As always, the algorithm favors engagement, so a simple like on this video will help us reach more wandering souls out there who might need to hear this message. Thank you for listening. Wishing you a peaceful evening. Goodbye for now.